Sorry about the interruption there. I'm going to pick up right where I left off. So we have an experimental group that would be taking the real drug and a control group or a placebo group taking a fake pill. Um, Neither group knows for sure if they're taking the real drug or the fake pill. And it's okay to do that, even though it's deceptive. But it's okay to do that as long as everyone knows ahead of time that some of them will have a real pill and some will have a fake pill. If people still agree to participate, knowing that, then it's fine to do an experiment on that nature. It's really valuable because the placebo effect is a very powerful effect in our mind. That is, sometimes when we expect something, we can convince ourselves of that, and that's true both emotionally and physically. It can relate to health and all kinds of issues. So, for example, if you have a headache and you take some Tylenol and you expect your headache to go away, um, it could be that the Tylenol, the active ingredients in the Tylenol, are causing your headache to go away, but it could also be entirely or in part due to your expectation for feeling better. And perhaps after you take Tylenol, maybe sometimes you uh, start thinking more positively about feeling better, and you get a little more active, and you start breathing more, and maybe the additional blood flow to your brain has an effect on your headache or something of that nature. Um, and that's kind of the idea here. When people are given drugs, we want to know that if it's the drug that's making them feel better, or if it's just their expectation that's making them feel better. I've got an example here of some data um, on the screen from a trial of Viagra that was used for women. And Viagra was originally designed for male use, and it's a pill that enhances sexual arousal and the longevity of sexual arousal in men. And I guess at one point some women were taking Viagra if their significant others had it or something. I don't know how this exactly worked, but um, some women were taking Viagra and claimed that they felt their sex lives had improved from that. So, because that pill was only studied on men, they couldn't market it for women because they hadn't done any research on that. Uh, so they decided to do a clinical trial, which is the same thing as an experiment. And some women received Viagra, and in that experimental group, about 40% of women stated that the Viagra seemed to have improved their sex lives, which is interesting, um, except that when you look at the placebo group or the control group, approximately the same percentage of those women also claim that their sex lives had improved, despite the fact that they were unknowingly given a small sugar pill or a fake pill, basically. So without the placebo group or the control group, again, just like we saw before, we really have no way to judge the impact of the independent variable. In this case, fortunately, they had a placebo group, and you could tell from that that women who claim that their sex lives are improving because of Viagra, it was probably because they expected their sex lives to improve and unknowingly were either just convincing themselves that their sex lives was better, or were maybe engaging in behaviors that actually made their sex lives better, unbeknownst to themselves. But based on these results, you can't claim that the active ingredients in Viagra were responsible for this, since both groups performed just as much. And that kind of wraps up my lecture component on experiments. On the screen here, I also have some terms that I've noticed students get confused a lot with on the first exam. I don't discuss them all in detail, but I encourage you to, so you don't have that same problem, make sure when you're studying for the exam that you're following the study guide that's posted in Unit 1 materials. Make sure you're studying the sections of the textbook that you're supposed to be studying, and make sure you check out some of these three terms in addition to other terms that I'm not covering, but these three in particular I've noticed students get confused a lot on the exam. So I've put them up here with the definition for each, and you can look those up in the book and see if you can match those correctly. You should be able to if you look them up in the book. And if you have any questions, of course, feel free to contact me and I can help you out and clarify those in any way I can. So, all right. I'll talk to you again in the next screencast that I do, which will be a screencast you'll be watching shortly about correlational research. See you later.